Chef Warren L. Booker Jr.
Let's see.
Good day, people. It's your boy, Warren L. Booker Jr., and I'm so excited to start season 2 of the soon-to-be internationally known webcast entitled The Potluck. People, I want to start off by saying happy New Year to each of you. Better yet, I'm going to say Happy New Year's. And I know that all of my English teachers will say that is incorrect, but I'm going to put the S on it because I'm going to be prophetic in this moment because you guys have many more years. So again, Happy New Year to you people. And to celebrate the beginning of season 2 of the Potluck Webcast and the new year, we're going to have some confetti to go off. That's right. We're going to celebrate around these parts. Now, I'm going to be mad at myself as all of this falls because guess who has to clean it up? That's me. But guess what, people? It is well worth it. So let me clear off my table and let's begin. I have a very special tribute for someone that's very special in my life. First off, and I'm going to bring her to the screen. This is none other than my grandmother, Miss Laverne B. Bryant. Yesterday was her birthday. However, I still want to give a shout out to her. And also on yesterday was Founders Day for the Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So I want to give you a shout out as well. It's a day late, but it's better late than never. And lastly, coming up this Sunday will be the Founders Day of the best fraternity that was ever created, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, founded January the 9th, 1914 at Howard University. And I'm a proud initiate of the Beta Theta chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated on the campus of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Now, y'all, I just said a whole lot. And I know that y'all are celebrating over there. I just can't hear you. I just can't see you. So give me some hearts. Give me some likes to let me know that you're there. I know we're still waiting on some people to come in. So give me some likes to let me know that you are out there. Our next thing, and we're going to take care of a little business first, is the flyer that you see there. I am working on a silent short film entitled I Pressed On. I don't know if you guys can read that on your screens. And I will talk more about that a little later. I actually will release the trailer today on this webcast. I will release the trailer today towards the end. So again, I Pressed On. Be looking out for information on that because it will be released January of this year. So be on the lookout for that. All right. So those are all the things that I have listed for my welcome. So as usual, in true potluck fashion, we are going to have our appetizer. And we all know when you begin a meal, oftentimes they ask you if you would like to order appetizers. Some people say that you just should. Now, I order appetizers for meals oftentimes, or by the time my meal gets ready, I'm full from an appetizer. But that's not going to be the case today. So here's the first appetizer. It states, not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some storms come to clear your path. And let me read that again for the people in the back. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. And that was by Kenzie. I don't know who Kenzie is, but I thank you for that. And I will reiterate that a little bit later when I bring on my sous chefs. So our featured menu item today is I have a testimony. And I know these last few years have been hard for a lot of people, and I know for myself and for my family. But today we stand here and we have testimonies. And I have two special sous chefs who will be joining me today. Assistant Pastor Warren L. Booker Sr. and Carolyn Booker. And I'm going to bring them in now. I'm so excited. To bring them in. Pastor Booker and Carolyn Booker, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
All righty. If you hear me, show some sign, wave at me, do something.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So with that being said, if you have not figured out by now, my namesake and my mother, these are my parents. And I am so honored and glad to have them on the show. I've had my dad on before, but this is my mom's first time being on the show. And she is an actress. Y'all just don't know. She acts out everything she talks about, but a lot of people in the public don't get a chance to see that. However, tonight she's going to share her testimony. I'm going to go back to our appetizer. As I stated earlier, not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some storms come to clear your path. And that just makes me think about my mom and my dad. We've gone through some storms these last few years. I remember my dad and I went to a carnival, and I had to pull up to the state fair, and I had to pull up close so he could, walk. He didn't have to walk as far. And I saw him kind of limping, and I cried. People, anybody know me know that I cried. And I realized then that my parents are getting older, but that's okay because some parents don't have parents to get old. So for that, I am appreciative. But tying into this appetizer, I think that sometimes people give a lot of money to people and go searching all over and fool with the people. Well, I'm not going to call names, but fool with all of these master prophets and this, that, and the other, wanting people to encourage them when if they just look right in front of them, what they need is right there. And that's what I did today. I looked right in front of me, and I saw my parents. And I see their testimonies. I see what God is doing in their life. I mean, we talk about timing and about the storms. I mean, my mom has had a hip replacement, 2 in 1 year, knocked it out. She's now retired or on disability. And then with that, she was able to take care of her grandchildren and be there for my dad. And I mean, it's just worked out for everybody. So it's all about timing and what may appear to be a storm. And it may not be easy, but sometimes it works out for your good. All righty. So again, we have my father, Warren Booker Sr., and my mom, Carolyn Booker. Again, I want to welcome you to the Potluck. You guys are the first guests of the second season of my show, and I am so honored to have you here on today. All righty. So with that being said, my mom, as I mentioned, just a couple of years ago, we were on a journey. It was towards the end of the year during the pandemic. And she went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Mama, I'll let you take it over from there."
Well, I went to the doctor back here in November, and he said, "Miss Booker, said, you have breast cancer." I said, "Huh?" He said, so he was explaining to my son that what they could do, what was it, and everything. He said, "Let's go in the room." So went in the room. He said, "Miss Booker," he said, "you have breast cancer." And he said, I could remove it. He said, "I could take care of it." He said, "I could do it 2 ways. I could have taken off, or he could cut it out. I'd go through radiation." I said, "No, I'm going to take it off." He said, "When do you want to have it done?" I said, "Well, whenever." So he gave me December the 7th that he could take it off. I said, "Okay." So I went on, had it taken care of. But when he told me that I had, one day I got kind of little, came home, got kind of a little worried. Then the Lord told me, said, "What you worrying about? I got you." And I put it in the Lord's hand, and he worked it out. And thank God I'm still here.
Amen. Amen.
I trusted in the Lord. You got to be patient and everything and wait on him. But thank God when I go to the doctor for my checkup, he said, you doing good. Thank you, Jesus.
Okay. So I remember being in that room with you, Mom, and of course, knowing me, to hear those words, "Miss Booker, you have breast cancer." I tried my best to hold in my emotions and my tears, and I could not. And I remember you coming over to console me, but I'm like, hold up, my mom is the one that has the diagnosis, but she's consoling me, telling me it's going to be all right. I don't know if it's going to be all right. Because oftentimes when people hear the C word or hear cancer, you automatically think death, or you think the worst. And you're living proof that it doesn't have to be that way. You're living proof. Now, you mentioned about, the doctor giving you options. So you chose to have a mastectomy. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that, for those that may don't know, that means that they literally cut the breast off. We have Barbara Clay on the line. Welcome to you. Welcome to the Potluck. So you made that choice. And some women may feel as if having that done will make them less of a woman, or, takes away some of their womanhood. I mean, do you feel less of a woman with having, I guess, just one breast?
No.
Okay. And Mama, now, we're going to let the people kind of see inside of how we act the fool. But what did you say about that breast? What you weren't worried about?
I ain't worried about taking that titty out.
You ain't worried about no titty. All right. So with that being said, y'all, ma'am.
Thank God I'm still here.
Right. So with that being said, those people who probably say Booker always acting up and I'm showing that, I'm the same way with my mom. We have fun. I'm the same with my daddy. We act a fool. We get together and we act a fool and we have fun. So when you get me, you get the authentic me. And Mama, people over here are laughing along with you. And I'm glad to have them laughing. And that's one thing that our family is good about doing. We take, I guess, serious things. And after, we go through it, we are able to make fun about it and celebrate it and, and have fun with those things. We have quite a few viewers that are in here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We're at my favorite number where we just exceeded that. It was 14, but thank you all for tuning in. So you have beat breast cancer, and we rebuke breast cancer right now in the mighty name of Jesus. And one thing that was weird about this to me, you mentioned that was December. Well, in September of that same year, my friend Dedrick Jones, he came and asked me to be a part of his breast cancer video. And it's kind of like a lot of men in pink. And we were dedicating this to women with breast cancer. And I was like, well, of course I'll do it. I'm down for community service. I love to be in front of a camera or behind the camera. So I obliged. And as I was getting dressed on that day, the Lord said to me, this is going to mean more to you later. I didn't understand it. And then to find out just a few months later, for you to get that diagnosis, that I understood what the Lord was saying in that moment. And then even further, doing your journey with breast cancer, of course, I was right there with you. I don't care how much I have to take off, what I have to do. That's what we do. We're going to be there for family. I recall, I remember I was going getting COVID tests. I went and got my COVID test, and it's been negative every time. And this time it comes back positive. So immediately I think about, I've been around you. I've been in the doctors with you. And I remember that causing your surgery to be delayed. Am I right about that?
Yeah. I thought I had on 7, but I couldn't take it to December 11th.
Okay. Yeah. So I felt so bad about delaying it because I remember you said, I just want to get this cancer out of my body. And I felt responsible for that, even though I wasn't, intentionally doing it. I don't think anybody just intentionally spreads COVID. However, God is so good and so merciful. I got a second test and it came back negative to find out that I was negative and I had not, exposed my mother, my father, my niece and nephew, or anyone to COVID. So that was a journey within itself. I hate COVID. COVID has changed everything. But of course, I can't change anything by myself. And right now we have this new variant. Someone just posted some statistics that we had 7,787 new cases today, 22 deaths, and 73 new people that are hospitalized. And I'm going to say this, people, be still. Peace ain't the only thing that needs to be still. We need to be still as well. Because I'm going to tell you like this, Omicron is a whore. Everybody can get some, and that's what's going on. Nobody is exempt. And yes, I just said that in front of my parents. Again, I told y'all, this is me. All right. So, sir, what say, Pastor?
You're going to get a whooping.
I know that I'm not too old for them. I do realize that. And I remember my last one, and I do realize I'm not too old for that. I remember you told me, boy, you think you're smelling your pee. But we're not going to talk about that today. Talking about COVID, brings me to our next sous chef, our next guest, which is my dad, Warren Booker Sr. And I remember I was at a conference during the summer, and you were having some symptoms. You were actually around my birthday. I remember that was July 4th. You were kind of sick. Never thought about COVID. It's the summertime, we're getting together. Never thought about COVID. And it's like you got better. And then I remember in that training, and mama calling, the doctors don't want you to come in because of the symptoms and saying it's upper respiratory and then it's sinuses and giving you all this medicine and stuff. And I remember one of my coworkers who's on here today, she looked at me as I was talking to you like, this sounds kind of COVID-ish. But no, they didn't say that. They said it was upper respiratory. They say it was sinus. And that's what a lot of people turn into doctors and diagnose themselves with now. But I say this, if you have any symptoms, please go get a test. Please go get a test. So, Dad, it's no secret now, I think I've kind of hinted at it, that you were COVID positive at one point. So if you would please start at the beginning of that journey and share with us what that journey was like.
Like you were saying, it was around the 4th of July, and I wasn't feeling that well, and I was having some of the symptoms. I was doing a lot of coughing. Matter of fact, I was coughing so hard that sometimes my chest got sore from all the coughing, and and I was having a little fever at night, and some film was coming up and all that. And I'm just thinking it's going to go away. I was taking different medications, and it really wasn't helping. And then I noticed that my breath started getting short. I could walk about 20 feet or so, then my breath would be short. And a friend of mine, one of my best friends, Harold Terry, had came by, and they told him I was sick, and he didn't want to come in to see me. But he called me and checked on me one day, and he asked me how was I doing. I was telling him what I was still going through. And so he asked me to go get tested. I said, no, I'm not going to get tested, man. I ain't got that stuff. And so we get off the phone, and about maybe 10, 15 minutes later, he called me back again, and he begged me to go get tested. And he said that him and his brother-in-law would pay for it. I said, no, to myself, I won't have y'all to pay for it. And he convinced me to go because I could hear it in his voice. He was more concerned about it than I were. And so I went on and got tested. And I got a negative reading. They say I was negative, but your oxygen is real low. And so they called the ambulance for me and took me to the hospital. And I'm thinking I'm just going to get some oxygen and come on back home. But I ended up being in the hospital for 11 days. Well, they tested me when I was in the emergency room, and he said that I was positive. And so they put me in the hospital. I was in the room for several days, but my oxygen wasn't coming up like it's supposed to be. They had me on 8, and you're supposed to be on normally, and I was still having problems breathing. So that's when they put me in ICU, and I was in there for 6 days on that machine. It was called, I think, a DPAP, and it was kind of rough on me breathing on that thing for about 12 hours every night. But I stayed on it trying to make myself well. And a couple times I gave up. I almost gave up. I said, I can't come to go to. I just gonna give up. And then I said, no, I ain't gonna give up. I gotta stay here for my grandbabies. I gotta stay here for my family. And I kept on fighting. I had tears in my eyes at that point. I was kind of getting emotional about it because I called myself taking all the precautions that I could to try to keep from getting it. I still got it. All it takes is you letting your guards down one time somewhere. And I think that's what happened. And it was kind of like it was a journey.
Okay, you pointed out some key things. You said that all it does is take that one time for a person to kind of get relaxed. And I think some people don't think about that. It's like, oh, this is my best friend, or this is this person, or let me just take this picture real quick, or, and you think people, but you really don't. You can't take that chance. Also, Dad, I remember having this conversation with you, and you mentioned something about seeing the light. What was that experience like?
Well, it ain't real clear to me. What was the purpose of it, but it's like the Lord had told me He's gonna come in my room that night, and I know what He meant by making this present. And during one of those times, like I was having a hard time, and I was thinking about giving up, and I had my eyes closed, and I saw that light, and it happened twice, and I had tears in my eyes and stuff when I saw it, and so it's kind of like gave me some hope, You know, I'm not saying that I passed away or anything. I was conscious of all of that, but I just see it as presence.
Okay. You also, I think, shared a situation or some situations about being in ICU and hearing all the machines and hearing the nurses trying to save lives and people dying all around you. Mentally, how do you cope with that, or how was that experience?
What I can remember, I remember one person they had called Cold Blue on, and they was like about maybe 15 feet from me in their room, and I could see the light out the corner of my eye, the blue light, and I said, "Oh man, that's blue." Then I saw the nurses running and hollering, and so I started trying to block it out of my mind. I said, "I'm here trying to get myself well," but it was hard for me to block it off out of my mind. And then things kind of got a little quiet. Then I heard some more no, they was screaming and hollering. Then I saw security come. And I still don't know what that was about, but it was a person that died there close to me, and I don't know what they had the same thing I had or not, but that was kind of mind-boggling me to try to keep that off of my mind and focus on myself.
Question: did you ever think, "Am I next?"
Not really. I just kept on fighting. I felt like I was gonna get out of there. I had confidence I would get out of there. Yeah, I really did. I think that I'm gonna be next.
Okay. Well, I thank God for that, because you ain't going nowhere.
With seeing the light and stuff, God was letting me know that He was with me.
So it was more of God confirming that He was present, not that I'm taking you with me.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. And Daddy, what if you could say something to, I guess, some people that may be careless or just ignorant to the fact about the seriousness of COVID? Because I made a post one Saturday I'll never forget. Now, most of the time when I post things on Facebook, I mean, sometimes it get like 400 likes and loves and laughters and stuff like that. This post got two likes, and one of them was mine. I said, I'm gonna like it myself because I know I'm telling the truth. And the other one was my sister Sharonda, and it stated, "COVID is real. Jesus is real. However, some people have mild symptoms, some people have no symptoms, and some people die." And that was my advice to the people. What advice would you give to people about the seriousness of COVID-19?
The advice that I would give is real. No matter what you hear on the internet or you hear people saying on TV or maybe in person, that it's real, because I had it and I experienced it. And it's no fun that when you can't breathe. And as a kid, I had asthma as a kid, and I can remember having those attacks where I couldn't breathe, and how hard, I can remember how hard I used to breathe. I can remember the doctor coming to the house at that time and to see about me and giving me some little brown pills to take. So I already knew about how hard it could be when you try to breathe, but I had to experience that. I've been an adult, and that's no fun, because it gets so bad to where if you get up and just pull your pants up when you put them on, you be exhausted just from that. Just that little bit, and that ain't no fun. Yeah, I be trying to eat, and I can eat a few spoonfuls, and I just get exhausted and have to stop. So it's very real. It's no joke. It's no propaganda, and you need to take caution and protect yourself at all costs. And it's very, very expensive too. I'll put that in there, because it almost cost $80,000 for those 11 days I was in the hospital. That's not including the ambulance. That's not including the home care. Wow. So it's that medicine I took was $1,200 and some dollars a dose.
Ooh. Wow.
Remdesivir, that's the name of it.
Remdesivir? Okay.
Take it seriously. And I know it's difficult because we're not used to this, but you got to do it, protect yourself and protect your loved ones.
That is so true. Question for you. Do you have any long-term effects from COVID-19?
Well, right now, my oxygen level still is not where it used to be. It's better than it was when I first come home. But I used to couldn't walk 20 feet without being exhausted. And now I can walk, maybe 100 feet and I'll be okay. And so I can see it has gotten better, but I'm still not where I used to be.
Okay. Okay.
I have a lot of the side effects like some people had, like they lost their taste, lost their appetite. I never did have any of those symptoms.
Wow. And Dad, I'm going to put a pin right there. And there are some people that don't hear. Tamika Flanagan stated, I beat it twice. It's super real, my Lord. She said, but God, ooh, child, I'm about to run around this room. So again, you guys are blessing people. We have Nashia. We have Summer who's on. We have Shamar Womack. We have Karen Stribling. Happy belated birthday, Karen. We have Janine Hayes. We have Rosie. Janine said I'm gonna get a whooping, but she knows she's family. She knows this is just how I am. Also, audience members, if you have any questions for my mom about breast cancer or life after breast cancer or dealing with it, just put it in the comment section and I will share that. The same thing about COVID-19. If there are any questions about that, you can just put that in the comment section and I will acknowledge that. And people, Mom or Dad, do you have anything else that you want to add that I may did not ask or that you may have thought of while we're on here? Because we're actually nearing the end of the show. We're at 26 minutes.
No, I don't have nothing else to say.
Okay. So with that being said, if there are any questions that arise, again, I will share those. So in true Potluck fashion, I always end with the dessert. And the dessert for today is your lifestyle can end up being your death style. Again, your lifestyle, the way that you're living, the events that you feel like you have to go to, the casino that you just can't stay away, the gatherings that you have to keep going to, can end up being your death style. Think about it. Is it worth it? I just got to celebrate my birthday. I turned 40 and I did not celebrate in a big fashion that I had dreamed about for about 5 years. You know why? Because I want to live to see my 80th birthday and beyond, if that's God's desire. We have to make wise choices. We have to stop being willfully blind, people. You don't never know what it's going to be like until it's your turn. And like I've said time and time again, I don't want a turn. I don't want a turn. I'm sorry. We are living in a world where there's technology and things are virtual. Let's be creative. Me and the grade 8, we have virtual happy hours. Fun. Mm-hmm. Church can be virtual. Now, Walmart is not yet virtual but you can have stuff delivered. You have even that. So if you're afraid of going to the store, go do pickup. Just monitor and adjust to the things. We're smart people, but we're not acting smart right now. And again, I take this stuff so personal. I think I had about 5 posts today that were centered around COVID because I just see stuff and I see Facebook stuff and I love y'all, but it's just like we're not making smart decisions. So remember, your lifestyle can end up being your death style. And I'm not speaking death on nobody. I don't want nobody to die, but that's just a fact. All righty. And as I stated, I'm going to share the trailer from my film. I'm doing a film entitled I Pressed On. And in addition to a couple of years of dealing with these things and the pandemic having a big impact, you take this socialite and now I'm in the house every day and I'm a teacher, so I don't have to go to work during the summertime. So I'm at home by myself. No more happy hour like that, like I'm used to. No more events, no more parties. I'm being invited to stuff and being invited on trips and having to cancel a trip to Vegas, having to say no to stuff that God knows I want to do. I done sung Last $2 as much as I can. I have done TikTok as much as I can. I did them all. I mean, and it's just got to a point where I felt myself slipping into a deep depression. And I got help. And if someone else out there is going through the same thing, I encourage you to do so. So tonight, I'm going to share with you the trailer to my film entitled I Pressed On, which will be released January of this year. I haven't set a date just yet because I'm still working on it. And I just don't know. I'm waiting and listening to God. Please.
Yeah.
Sir?
Okay. It was something else I want.
Okay.
Talking about, well, I'm not worried about this because I got faith or I'm in faith.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to really be careful about that because it hit me, and I was acting in faith, but also I was doing everything I could to protect myself. But it didn't make no difference whether I was a minister or not. I know some ministers dead now.
Yeah.
And they were talking about and they dead and been dead about a year. So don't get caught up in that. You got to be real. This thing is affecting everybody. It don't make no difference what color you are. It don't make no difference what age you are. It make no difference what church you belong to. Any of that. It's hitting everybody. You got to face reality.
Come on, preacher. That's right. And faith without works is what?
It's dead.
So that means that we have to do our work, wear our masks, sanitize our hands, do whatever it takes for us to be clean and safe. And before I bring the trailer up, I have a few people that are praising God for you guys. One of my classmates, Sequoia, stated that she and her kids had to go to therapy. Charlotte Allen Rose said, right, Buie-Booker. All righty. And with that being said, kind of sit up. I want to see your shirts. Let me. Your mom, your shirt says survivor, and daddy, what does your shirt say? COVID-19 survivor. That's right. They are survivors. They didn't give up. That's right. That's right. So with that being said, let's see here. My cousin said we can have a clean bill of health and still be sick enough to die when it's your time. My children and I are in therapy too, and I think that is great. So people, as I was setting it up before, my daddy I was setting it up, and my daddy kind of broke the setup because what he said was definitely true about that faith. There's a difference between faith and ignorance, and some people are just ignorant. That's not a bad thing. That means you just don't know. That's what that means. You don't know about something. So with that being said, here's the trailer to I Pressed On. All righty, there you have it, folks. I Pressed On, a silent film. That means no words. You heard some music, but no words. A Y1 Entertainment production. The little boy from Packentown that would sit and look towards the levee and see my name in lights and think about being on stage and filming, and now it's coming to fruition. And again, you speak about faith, Daddy. I'm definitely stepping out on faith. I've never done a silent film. I've never recorded a whole film by myself, along with the help of my sister. I have to give my sister credit for that. And I'm also editing myself. So I'm stepping out on faith with this, and also trying to create a silent film, hoping that people can pay attention for at least 20 minutes. I know I have ADD myself, and it's kind of hard to pay attention for that long time. So with that being said, I'm going to share the trailer. I ask you please just share with people and support it when it is released. That's all that I have, people. That's all that I have. Daddy, Mama, have something else come to your mind since the last few minutes?
No, but we couldn't hear no music.
Oh,
you might want to check for no music at
okay.
all.
Okay. Well, I'll check on that. I'll check on that. All righty. So with that being said, people, stop self-diagnosing. That could apply for COVID and or breast cancer. Men and women, check your breast. You feel any lumps or you feel pain and stuff, go get it checked out. Stop self-diagnosing, saying, oh, that's just a lipoma or something like that, or that's just a boil. Get it checked out. If you have any COVID symptoms, go get checked out. Stop diagnosing these colds and sinus infections. Let the people who get paid to do this and went to school for it be the ones to tell you whether it is or it's not. All righty. That is it. The first episode of season 2 of the Potluck. I want to thank you all so much. Be blessed. And until next time, we'll be back here next week at the same time, 7:14, right here. Thank you all for pulling up to the table of the Potluck. I don't see any questions, but y'all people, I don't ask for much, but please give me some likes, give me some hearts. And also, I'm also asking you to like, tag, and share. And one thing I failed to mention, we are being streamed on Facebook as well as YouTube simultaneously. So I will be doing a request for you to subscribe to my YouTube page here in the near future as well. I'm seeing a lot of hearts. I'm saying it feels good. I don't know if y'all can see it. Hearts and love. We definitely appreciate that. So again, people, I am Master Chef Warren L. Booker Jr. Today, my sous chefs were Pastor Warren and Carolyn Booker, my mom and dad. And just remember this last thing: your lifestyle can end up being your death style. Until next time, we're out of here. Have a great day and be blessed. And again, have a happy, happy, happy New Year.
Love you.
All right.